Let's talk about food pricing trends, shall we? Today is Tuesday, January 7th, and today's agricultural fact of the day consists of data that was pulled from a USDA report, and this article was published on CBS News' website, and it was from earlier in 2024, but the information is still valid, and the points that are made are still very much the truth, especially if you've also been feeling the pinch with this economy. Today's agricultural fact: between groceries and restaurants, Americans are spending more of their income on food than they have in 30 years. According to the latest data released by the USDA, it shows that U.S. consumers spent more than 11% of their disposable income on eating in 2022. I'll get back to that in a second. Which is the highest percentage since 1991. 2022 was an ag census year, so I'm not really sure how they pulled this information, but by having it specifically in that year or at the conclusion of that year, and when this information was released and this article was published, it leads me to believe that there was some sort of crunching of numbers that involved that census. Now, I have researched this extensively, and finding quality, reliable information that is easy to understand and be able to explain to all of you can be quite challenging. But if you've shopped in a grocery store over the last 5 years, you've definitely seen those price changes dramatically. Now, I'm sure that part of it was corporate greed. Then, of course, you think about farmers' inputs, and those haven't really gotten much lower. But in 2021, they skyrocketed, which obviously increased their cost of production. So the market, though, markets do strange things. And just because the farmers spent a significant more amount putting their crops in the ground does not mean that at the end of the growing season, they will, in fact, be able to recoup the amount that they've spent growing that crop and harvesting it. As can be seen from the corn crop this fall, from what I hear, I'm not a crop farmer, but I hear things are pretty rough if your sole cash crop was corn. Now, there is a link within this article that I just referenced, and it's clickable, and it says, why does food cost so much more? So it links to another article that was published by CBS News a week or two following that in February, and it highlights some of those things. Honestly, after clicking on this article, it doesn't really answer the question. It just goes through how quickly food and fuel, electric, has increased over the course of the last couple of years. It doesn't really answer any questions, but it does highlight the point, which I've been saying, is that people are losing the choice to make their purchasing decisions for themselves because of, especially those fixed income households. It's not like you can just work more hours and make more money. If you're on a salary, that's not really an option. So it's leading people to make the decision, are we going to eat or are we going to have heat and electric in our houses for this month? It also takes away the privilege of being able to choose. People that choose to purchase organic or locally grown or direct from a farmer, it's not always cheaper purchasing direct from a farmer, but the products usually don't have preservatives in them, and you know what it was fed, those sorts of things. And because it costs more to produce things on a smaller scale, those prices are oftentimes significantly higher than what you're paying in the grocery store. And when families are struggling and pinching pennies, that may be something that is very easily cut. So I'm curious to see what the local type businesses, how they progress through the next couple of years. But anyway, hopefully I got you to think about something and make your own decisions. I am also feeling fairly flu-like. So I started with chills and muscle aches yesterday, and then today my stomach was off most of the morning, and I'm just praying that I'm not getting the flu or any sort of stomach bugs that are supposedly going around. But it is still a winter wonderland outside. We have feet of snow again at this point, and maybe I'll take a video when I'm home later to show you what we have. But it just keeps on snowing. A little winter wonderland. Those aren't the big fluffy lake effect flakes that we usually see, but they have a little bit of fluff to them.